Simplifying fractions. Equivalent fractions are fractions with the same value. If you multiply or divide the numerator and denominator by the same number, you'll get an equivalent fraction. When using division, this is called simplifying. When the numerator and the denominator cannot be divided by the same number, the fraction is in its simplest form. Hi, I would like to do a quick video on simplifying fractions. So, as you would have learned from the first equivalent fractions video, we know that an equivalent fraction are fractions that have the same value. I know I can multiply or I can divide both my numerator and my denominator by the same number. A simplified fraction is just simply an equivalent fraction which is in its lowest form, which means I'm not able to divide the top number or the bottom number by anything else. Looking at my first example here, my 9/12, my 9/12, I know that both 9 and 12 are in the 3 times table. So my first step would be a little jotting for myself, divided by 3. I only need to write it once, as I know I divide both the top and the bottom number by the same number. So 9 divided by 3 is 3, and 12 divided by 3 is 4. So I know that 9/12 in its simplest form is 3/4. I know that 9/12 is equivalent to 3/4. Let's look at my next example here. I have my 12/18. I know that they're both even, but I also know that they're both even multiples of 3, and I know they're both in the 6 times table. So for this one here, I'm going to divide both of these by 6. 12 divided by 6 gives me 2, and 18 divided by 6 gives me 3. I therefore know that 12/18 in its simplest form is 2/3, and 12d/18 is equivalent, therefore, to 2/3. This question here is a little bit more challenging. My first step with this one is I know they're both going to be multiples of 100. So my first step is to divide both numbers by 100. 200 divided by 100 is 2, and 600 divided by 100 is 6. I also know that 2/6 is actually not a simplest fraction because I know that 2 and 6 are both even numbers. They're both multiples of 2. I therefore can divide now both those numbers by 2. A little jotting for myself, divided by 2. I therefore have 1 and 1 1/3. I therefore know in 2 steps I've had to do a divided by 100 first to get me 2/6, then divide by 2 to get 1/3. This question here, I'm not too confident with my multiples. I know they're both multiples of 2, so I think my first step here, because I'm not too sure, I'm going to divide both of those by 2. 24 divided by 2, half of 24 is 12, and half of 30 is 15. I have 12/15. I do know that both these numbers, though, are not in the simplest form because both 12 and 15 are multiples of 3. I would therefore divide both of these by 3. 12 divided by 3 gives me 4, and 15 divided by 3 gives me 5. I therefore know, having to go down in 2 steps, divided by 2 and divided by 3, I have 4/5. I also know that I could have divided this by 6. If I divided this by 6, I would have had the same answer with less steps, but I can do as many steps as I need to if I'm not so confident with my times tables. I hope you found that useful.